Welcome back to another Marvel Legends UK action figure review. Today we're going to be reviewing Mr Sinister from the Wendigo Build-A-Figure wave. Here we go. So here we are with another action figure review, taking a closer look at the Mr Sinister from the recent Wendigo wave. Hasbro seem to be stepping up the game with these new X-Men waves. For the last two waves that we've reviewed, the figures and the detail just seem to be getting stronger and stronger. One thing we are seeing increasingly more of are this amazing artwork on the side. Great image of Mr Sinister, same image on both sides, just mirror reflected. In order to complete the Wendigo Build-A-Figure, there are 6 figures in the wave. These waves are coming double stock with the Nightcrawler and double stock with the X-Force Wolverine. In this figure assortment, we just got Mr Sinister, no accessories other than the Build-A-Figure. I do have the original Mr Sinister, which we'll be doing a comparison of later on, but as you can see, this guy looks absolutely fantastic. One of the figures that I couldn't wait to get my hands on in the wave. The antagonist of Cyclops and Jean Grey. Not really an X-Men villain as such, he's more of a Cyclops and Jean Grey villain, in my opinion. Mr Sinister, also known as Nathaniel Essex. We have seen some sort of reference to Mr Sinister in the Fox universe and Deadpool 2, but unfortunately as of yet we've still not seen him in the movies. My gut instinct is, obviously having Magneto for so long in the X-Men films through Fox, I think the Marvel will go down Mr Sinister's route predominantly as a #1 antagonist before moving on to the big bad, which is Magneto. What I'm going to do is break him out of the box, have a look at the articulation, have a look at the paint deco, and then we'll pop the Wendigo arm away to one side for when we do the BAF review later on in the line. So if you bear with me, we'll crack him open. So here's Mr Sinister out of the box, and what a monster of a figure this guy is. The vast majority of this figure is all new sculpt. He's not as heavy as I thought it was going to be. The cape doesn't hinder him standing up too much, which is one of my biggest bugbears, when on a figure you've got a cape or a back piece which weighs the figure down, making him wanting to fall backwards. But from the vast majority of this figure, it is an entirely new sculpt. Could be mistaken on the arms, but we've got a new moulded chest piece. Got new legs, which look fantastic, new boots. Hasbro have been really clever in terms of hiding the thigh joint within the boot cut, so that's pretty impressive. So you've no line actually at the top of the leg, the cut comes further down. The ankles are on a nice ankle rocker, ankle pivot, and they come with this boot accessory which sits over the ankle. It's like an extended ankle piece. If you can see, the ball joint comes into the joint here, the actual leg stops here, so this is a new boot piece to which the ball joint of the ankle is in place. Shoulder pads. Now I'm trying to figure out where this is actually all seamed together, because you have got a split in the shoulder pad here. The shoulder pad doesn't actually move, it's like a soft rubbery material which doesn't hinder the movement in the arm. It does stop it doing a 360, but obviously when you're posing your figures, I don't think you're going to the vast majority of people aren't going to have Mr Sinister's hands right above his head. But then this piece here is sculpted, and it looks like it's glued into position on the figure itself, which then extends to this head collar piece, which goes all the way up the back of the figure. This isn't removable, this is all glued into place, but this here does look like it's part of the harness as such, which goes across the top of the figure, which sits inside the sculpt of the figure, which is then glued into place. On the back, as you can see, the cape of the cloak comes in a couple of pieces. Piece 1 is fixed to the figure, again by a really strong adhesive and glue. And then you've got piece 2, which then is glued into place again onto the original cape piece. The actual face sculpt of Mr Sinister is fantastic. You can see very menacing look, no paint imperfections. The hairline is perfect. The white is perfect. The jewel in his head is a nice ruby red. The eyes are done to perfection. And from what I can tell, the teeth are perfect also. So yeah, very menacing look there from Mr Sinister. Articulation is standard articulation, what you get with action figures. We have got a double jointed elbow. Does go more than 90 degrees, bends in on itself. The waist is articulated. This belt piece isn't a floating belt piece, it is actually glued into place. We've got an ab crunch, which gives us a fair motion forward. Ab crunch also goes back for a bit as well, which is quite cool. Legs kick out really far, and again you've got a double jointed knee, which comes back a decent amount. You've got the hinge on the foot with a standard foot pivot, so that's cool. The right hand of Mr Sinister is a fist, and again this cuff area here is a removable piece. Nice rubber removable piece, and so too is this one over here in his more grasping kind of hand. So yeah, the actual figure itself is fantastic. I absolutely love this blue. It's not too dissimilar from the blue that we got on the Apocalypse. What I'm going to do is compare him to the old Mr Sinister in terms of scale, and then obviously the standard Marvel Legend. Two Sinisters don't make a right. So here we have the original Toy Biz Mr Sinister. I can't remember which wave it come with. Just pop it in the comments below to give me a nice reminder. This figure has stood the test of time. A really nice figure indeed. But as you can see, his newer version absolutely smashes him out of the water to lightness, aesthetics. This cape area here I actually flipped upside down because obviously I wanted to recreate this effect. So many moons ago when I got the figure, I actually flipped the collar, which became like that, upside down to recreate the over the shoulders look, as it was missing that sinister look. So what I did was I originally flipped it over. Let's just come loose out the peg. For it to then sit above the shoulder like so. But there's no need, as this figure has already done it, so it saved me that. Again, in terms of articulation on the original Toy Biz, you know, we had the finger articulation, which I don't think people are going to miss, and the toe articulation, which we recently got on the Hasbro the Hasbro Beast. Other than that, figures side by side. Unfortunately, we have another replacement. So unfortunately, this Sinister goes back into the fodder bin, and this Mr Sinister takes his place in the display. Seems to be a frequent trend now where we get a rehash of an old figure with the newer version taking its place. If you can think of any that we've had which have been a rehash of an old figure to which the previous was superior to the new release, comment in the comments section below. And let us know. I don't think the Toy Biz Sentinel Build-A-Figure will be replaced at this moment in time, but in terms of the standard figures, Hasbro are doing a fantastic bang-up job. The only accessory that came in the box with Mr Sinister is the Wendigo arm, which, looking at it, is a reuse of the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure arm. We'll come round to reviewing this when we've opened all the actual figures from the actual wave. So here's the comparison alongside our Cyclops, which is the standard 6-inch Marvel Legend. The Cyclops has got a custom screaming optic blast head on there, which is from RDJ Customs, who is a member of the Marvel Legends UK Facebook group. I will post a link in the description below as to where you can find this and many other nice little custom pieces which he's doing at the moment. But as you can see, in terms of scale, he scales perfectly well. So yeah, I can't wait to actually get these guys on the display now going forward as his main antagonist within the X-Men universe that we seem to be creating. Thanks very much for stopping by and checking out this review. If you would, give us a like. If you liked the review, give us a thumbs down. If you didn't, if you are accustomed to Marvel Legends reviews or news from Marvel Legends, please subscribe to the channel and follow us over on Instagram, which is Marvel Legends UK _ In the meantime, stay safe, keep collecting, and here's to the next one. Bye.